We're back. That is crazy. That's a first. Well, at least we know they watching. Dang, that's crazy. All right.
It was one of them parents that agree with the student.
Wow, clutching my pearls. All right, well, let's move on to the next topic so we can get through these topics and go on about this business in this show. Okay, good Lord. Okay, so what about my boy, Jalen Hurts? Fly, Eagles, fly. I know CT Kirk over there is seasoned to get on because I got this Eagles cup right now. He can't say nothing. He a Cowboys fan. Look, Woody got the biggest contract in NFL history. Shout out, thanks to his black female manager, agent, whatever you want to call her. She hooked him up and got him the deal of a lifetime. It is a $255 million extension, which includes $179.3 million guaranteed. He is the highest paid player in NFL history. And Nicole Lynn, who was his agent of Clutch Sports Group, all women, they negotiated for him to have a no trade clause. First time ever done in the Eagles history. So shout out to my quarterback, Jalen Hurts, the Eagles, and his agent manager, Nicole Lynn. Girl power.
He put out a love letter to black women as well.
He did. And then followed up with, I'm taking this my girl.
Don't get crazy.
Right. Calm down, y'all. Calm down. So shout out to that young man. Big ups to him.
Yeah, he deserves every pity.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. He's overcome a lot of adversity. So shout out to him. So what y'all think about the whole Love is Blind Netflix live debacle?
Ooh, baby, somebody got fired. I know they had to get fired. I know somebody got fired.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I was like, okay, wait a minute, let me go. Hold on, but let me try. And wait a minute, then let me go. But wait, it's not. I was like, what? Can we just not do the live?
Right. And what was crazy was some people like on YouTube and TikTok, I don't know if it was just certain people could see it, but they were like going live showing on their screen. But I'm like, why can't I watch it for myself? But then when I could watch it, I just felt like it was trash. It wasn't good.
I couldn't watch it. It never came on for me. I was like, this is terrible. Like
you still haven't watched? You still didn't watch?
They did like they did with Chris Rock, which wasn't live. They recorded it the first day, then said it was live the next day.
Have either of y'all watched it?
No, yeah, I watched it.
I haven't watched it yet.
But I didn't try to watch it live. I watched it yesterday. So
I tried to watch it live, but
I didn't try to watch it live either. I tried to watch like 2 hours later.
You couldn't watch it?
Yeah, it was probably like maybe 4 hours after it was supposed to that you could finally get it to come up.
Okay, because I looked, but I was like, when I saw that originally it said 1 hour and 54 minutes, I was like, ain't no way. Not tonight. I got to go to sleep. I'll catch it tomorrow. So I watched it yesterday.
Daniel, don't start your shit tonight, okay? Talking about welcome back, you troublemakers.
I think,
hey, Courtney.
Like maybe a few hours, sometime at some point today, Jackie issued an apology to Marshall on Instagram.
Oh, she did? Because everything I've been seeing. Well, she wasn't there.
Yeah, she didn't show up, Dee.
Exactly.
What? Oh my God. All right. So is anybody on this panel scared that they're going to be in that Freaknik documentary? I just need to know.
I ain't old enough.
I don't know.
Well, apparently there has been, let me find my, a prominent Black professional group of women who have sued Hulu over this documentary release. The group of women is comprised of one politician, 3 high-level corporate executives, and 1 judge.
Mm.
According to Media Takeout, one of the C-suite executives stated that there are already videos circulating online that show her in unflattering light. She is married with 3 children, earns north of $1 million annually in her position, and is hoping to block the official debut.
I feel
Hey
like
man,
that's crazy. It's crazy because, like she said, the videos are out there. It don't take nothing to go viral. Like if somebody want to put that video out there.
I
well, see,
mean,
I'm so happy. Like, I want to say this. I am so happy that this is coming out because we got these holier than thou people that swear they ain't do nothing back in the day, and looking down up on the younger people like, I can't believe you did that. Well, you was doing it too, and now you about to get exposed. So they need to let all that go because you got Freaknik. What was it? What was that? The Kappa Beach Fest in Galveston. It's a bunch of them. Heck, ours, man. The one we got. Some of the stuff that they got, the Black Spring Break we got down there on the coast.
Bike
Baby.
Week,
Man,
Myrtle
look,
Beach,
all that.
Daytona,
Look.
Miami Bike Week. Listen,
But I'm talking about like in the 90s,
right?
expose that because it's easy now. It's easy, for them to post the videos. But we got, like I said, these holier than now people that act like they ain't do nothing when they was in their 20s, and now be looking down on people in their 20s. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
your turn. Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I
all
ain't do it. I
all
couldn't do
you
it.
all you gotta say, ma'am, is yeah, I was out there, keep popping on the handstand, and look where I am now.
Right.
Look
The
look
Lord
where
Hey,
can deliver you too.
we all lived at some point in time, and that's what she need to be at.
The camcorders of VHS they need to be destroyed.
Nah,
that's what they thought happened. They were like,
that's what they
ain't
thought.
nobody gonna hold on to that.
Well,
Yeah.
there was I don't know what I was watching something, and there was a different spin to this. So there were a few ladies that came out and that was telling their story about being at Freaknik and how they were sexually assaulted. So they might want to leave this alone because there's gonna be some other stuff that come out that people may not want to see. So I don't know. I don't know.
Mm, I'm just saying.
It was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
it
Some of
was
those women, they were not willing partners in videos. They were not.
it was a video of some iotas somewhere, and he was like talking about something about taking advantage of women, and it was during the time of Freaknik, and somebody was like, "This video finna shut down the whole iota chapter, all 15 of them."
Listen, because I tell you, I was always like disgusted with those events. Like it really just made me want to throw up. But I remember going to Greek Fest in Philly one time, and I wasn't out there long because I was driving down the street trying to find a parking spot, and a dude got in the car with me, and I was like, I need you to get in the car. I want to talk to you. Like I said, get out. Like he wouldn't get out of the car. I had to act like I had a weapon underneath my seat to make him get out. I'm just like, they were so aggressive and like wouldn't take no for an answer. It was like, it was crazy. They felt like in those events, they feel like they can touch you, grab you, do whatever they want to you just because you're there. So no, that was never my thing. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
No,
Mm.
no.
I tried
This
a Black Spring Break one time and one time only. Never again.
Adrian, this year it was like on steroids. I guess because people know like the cameras are out. If you want to go viral, there was a girl, Didi. Have you ever been down here, Didi?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
There's a road that runs between Keesler Air Force Base and the Navy base called
Mm-hmm.
Pass Road, and it's like for freaking ever. There was a girl hanging out the window, like shaking her behind, going down Pass Road, a residential area. The car swerved. She fell out. She fell out in the middle of Pass Road and fell out the car.
Mm.
See, doing too much. Doing too much. All right, I'm gonna get to this last trending topic that we're gonna bring our guests on. And this one is gonna probably bring the mood a little bit down, but I do want to talk about it. I want to talk about the young man, the 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, who was shot by a white neighbor for going to the wrong address to go pick up his little sister and brother. He went to the wrong house, and this 84-year-old white man shot him in the head, and I think he shot him somewhere else. Thank God Ralph is home and recovering. He did survive. He is a very amazingly talented student who is a musician, and he maintains a stellar GPA. He attends and he also takes college classes while he's in high school. So he attends Stanley High School. Just to the thought of your child going to a house and just knocking on the door and getting shot is insane to me. Like, but the man has turned himself in. He's being charged with 2 felonies, and I hope that he spends the rest of his how many years he got left on this earth in jail. What do y'all think about that?
I think that it a horrible story, but even to the effect of if he feared like whoever was on the other side of that door, not only did he shoot once and he saw him down, he came and shot him again.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was the reason for that?
Yeah. Ooh, child. I don't want to get flagged again, so I'm gonna be quiet. I don't understand why you open your door at all. If you feel threatened, why you open your door? I don't answer my door at all. If I don't know you coming, I don't even go to my door. You just be out there knocking.
Yeah.
I don't know if he gave a reason. I don't know. Jay Chris said he'll get probation. Go on, let him out.
Yeah, that's a sad situation, man. Sad story.
Couldn't be mine. What Daniel said, y'all be kicked off. Don't mess with. Right. I'm gonna be quiet. All right, y'all. So we got some special guests coming on, and I am going to read these spectacular, amazing, outrageously just great bios that they send in. These people are just amazing. Like, look, we know some good people. You hear me? I don't want y'all to be hating in these comments because y'all don't know people like we know people. I'm going to start out with Demetrius Holt. First of all, when I read this bio, I was like, I want to go. I like to dress up. I want to go. Look. He is the producer of an award-winning documentary on Juneteenth and African deities, as well as several shorts centered on Marvel Comics properties and animated PSAs geared towards letting Black children know their Black heroes exist. Demetrius is the founder of Blurred and Powerful, a networking initiative aimed at growing Black-owned comic conventions, as well as boosting the morale of his fellow Blurs who endure mental and emotional hardship every day. Demetrius has been the proverbial boots on the ground in dealings with companies like Mattel, DC Comics, Loot Crate, and Men's Health magazine in introducing the world to the Blurred community and what we're capable of, so much so that if you go to Google Black He-Man, you'll find him. Y'all, we're going to welcome Demetrius Holt onto the platform today. Hey, Demetrius.
Good evening.
Welcome.
How are you all?
What's going on, good brother?
Okay, with the Darth Vader voice. Hold on now. Hey, pull my fan out on that.
How are y'all? I mean, I've been here the entire time, so watching events unfold. I was like, oh, I saw her cheeks. I was like, oh, they're gonna get banned. I knew it. I knew it. I was like, YouTube don't play because they watching everybody. So
they hating on us tonight.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce another amazing man. His name is Mr. C.T. Kirk. Look, that name just sounds powerful, don't it? C.T. Kirk. That man sounds like he's been on TV or something. He is the pastor of Sanctuary of Light Outreach Center in Rock Hill, South Carolina. He graduated with honors from the University of Phoenix with a Bachelor's of Science in Elementary Education and obtained a master's degree in history from Grand Canyon University. He teaches in the Lancaster School District in South Carolina as a 6th grade social studies teacher at South Middle School. He is the author of 3 books: Learn to Take Back Your Mind, How the West Was Whitewashed, and Why Me? He is a community activist, and in 2019, he was awarded the MLK Dream Keeper Award and the Come See Me Community Service Award. He is married to Monique, and they have 3 children. He is a proud member of the Rock Hill Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Y'all welcome Mr. C.T. Kirk. What's going on, C.T. Kirk?
Hey.
Hey everybody, how you doing?
What's
Hey,
up?
he was fine.
Oh, really? Having a big contract don't make you the best player.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh.
Here we go. We ain't even gonna talk about that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna do that. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm fine. I'm reading the comments. You have an animated and he's like, "Oh, y'all bringing the pastor out to showing them cheeks." I was like, "Oh,
That's right. Inclusiveness. What do you mean?
we going."
He ain't no regular pastor. He is the pastor. Don't worry about that.
Oh man.
Hey.
Oh, that's funny.
Look,
With the cheeks out, passed out. Cheeks
Hey,
out, passed
let's
out.
go.
Okay.
Let's go. So we to break up the monotony from that last topic, we're gonna do an icebreaker. And y'all blame Adrian for this icebreaker topic.
Oh man, don't blame me.
You picked it for me. Okay, so here's the scenario. Your husband dies and leaves you $5 million. During the funeral, his mistress shows up with 2 kids, which are his. That's what she said. She states that he's been paying all her bills and taking care of the kids. He left her nothing. What do you do?
My husband? Oh, really for me. I don't know. Ladies,
what should the wife do if you were to pass away and you left some out of wedlock children that she didn't know about? What should
I left my worldly possessions
$5 million?
I left my worldly possessions behind. I don't have an answer for this.
Daniel said, damn well better take care of those kids. Jay said nothing. Joy said nothing.
I hear Chris Tucker's voice. I'm like, not a damn thing.
I think y'all up with the kids with proof of paternity.
y'all, boy.
I'm minding my business. Continue to grieve and say they was this was his last testament. It was what? Carry on, lady.
Damn.
Okay. Y'all not taking care of no kids, I see.
At all.
All right.
It's FTK out here, huh?
I am.
All right.
I would take care of the kids. And if she could prove they were his, I would take care of the kids.
Even if you didn't know?
How you gonna prove that they're his when all the DNA's gone?
You can get DNA.
We had kids. I would assume we had kids. I'm sure his toothbrush still laying around the house or something.
Yeah, that's
you get DNA from his parents, siblings. You get DNA.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I'll take care of him. It ain't their fault. It ain't their fault that daddy trifling.
Listen. This is the basis. This is the basis of Creed. You realize that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen Creed yet.
You ain't seen none of the Creeds?
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you were saying
that story.
I thought you was gonna say Michael B. Jordan character done did this. But
no. The first Creed movie, you know. That's Apollo.
Yeah.
Apollo's dad.
Okay, Apollo. All right. I thought you done put something out there that I ain't seen yet.
No.
Okay, cool. Because I was gonna see it this week.
What you said, just like she didn't care about my marriage, I don't care about the secret kid. Oh
my goodness. Y'all not taking care of the kids? Yeah, you just got $5 million.
It's $5 million. You could take care of somebody.
Hey, for $5 million, he should have had a will.
Now that's a word.
And you gotta honor a dead man's wish. If he didn't leave that to the children, you gotta honor a dead man's wish.
He left it all to her. So
it ain't on her. She can do what she please. And she said,
listen,
F them kids.
Adrian, when did you come up with this topic?
When I sent this a couple days ago or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So today Adrian got a couple screenshots from me that
oh yeah.
I out of nowhere, this 18-year-old woman sent me a couple messages asking me if I had known this woman, who happens to be her mother. And I was like, yeah, no, I know a person with that name, but the name's so generic. I went to high school with her, if that's the same one. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, you're not telling me that you're my kid, are you? Because that's just so soap operas. That's not a real thing. And she says, I think you might be my dad. Because, she told me, that you and her and this, that, and the third, and the time of my stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, how old are you? And she said she's 18. I'm like, baby, I graduated from high school in 2002. You're telling me you're 18 now. I haven't seen your mother since 2002, and you were born in 2004. That don't match up. That's not me. But I did hit up her mom. I was like, yo, you telling your daughter that it was me? And she's like, I said Darius, not Demetrius.
Oh,
And so the whole day was like a fucking roller coaster. Like I just
oh my God.
I was like, yo, and Adrian felt the anxiety in the words when he read it.
I could see it. I was like, man, oh man, this is crazy. Like, I had to see it. I'm like, stop playing. That's cap. You made that up. You had to see it. Like you would there. You'd be like, there's no way that this could have happened. You had to make this up.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
no.
I know your heart dropped. You was over there with the calculator.
But see, I'm just glad that I know who was who I was with at that particular time and what time, and I was.
That's crazy.
Ooh.
First of all, I need y'all to acknowledge this comment that Iron Woe just posted because he's so ignorant. He said the word that Jesus said, "No, not me. Get somebody else to do it." He's so ignorant.
Boy.
Oh my God, y'all crazy.
Y'all just don't love kids. I see. Okay, all right. It's not about the well-being of the kids. All right. Okay, I see. All right.
Well, I mean, then if you look at it, she said that he was paying all the bills and taking care of the kids. What was she doing with her money? I hope you were saving.
She was paying the bills and taking care of her kids with the money.
No, she said he was paying all the bills and taking care of the kids.
That's what I'm saying. So she ain't had no bread. She broke.
You know that. She didn't say she didn't work.
She probably would.
Hey, all right, never mind. I came up with this. Now y'all getting to the technicals and all.
If you doing it all, you should.
She probably wasn't working. She was probably extorting him. And that's why
you wasn't paying no married man to take care of you forever.
Hey man. Hey, okay. There it is. All right. That was a nice icebreaker that brought the temperature back up. I love it.
Look, Courtney said, "Would y'all take care of your dead wife's secret keys?"
Next. Next.
Lord, you're like, get somebody else to do it.
How does your wife have secret kids and you not know?
Right.
Maybe before y'all got together.
Very easily.
How? No, but where were you for 9 months when she was
before you?
Oh, so she lied. Oh, okay. Well,
So
I would. There are signs. There are typical signs on a woman when she's had a child, and I'm pretty sure we would be engaged in activities where I would see these signs.
Signs with those.
Don't spit them out. You done started it. Now you gotta spit them out.
I don't know what they're signs are.
I mean, listen. There's nothing sexier on a woman than stretch marks. So I'm just saying, like, let me see what them tiger stripes look like, baby. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, if typically speaking, if a woman has had a child, there are stretch marks. There's a sign. There might be on beneath her belly button, or if she had a C-section, I would see that. Unless she had a tattoo there, but then I would still be able to feel that, wouldn't I? Something like that. True. You know, what I mean, it's just there just seems to be a lot more signs that a woman has had a child than if a man has had a child. You see what I'm saying?
It happened to somebody.
Baby, I was just fat. I lost a lot of weight.
It happened in my family. It happened to somebody in my family.
What's that?
It happened to somebody in my family.
She had a secret child.
They hid the child
in the window.
A woman had a child, and the person found my name on what is it? Like the 23andMe or whatever.
Oh.
Like, and he searched because my last name's not a normal last name, and I guess a regular that you hear all the time. And his wife was like, message her. She was like, she'll write back.
Did you?
Yeah, I wrote back.
You know Drena wrote back. Drena finds out. You already know.
And that's why.
Come on now.
Right. It was crazy.
Oh my goodness.
It was crazy.
Okay, so we're going to transition into our main topics, which I want to focus on our guest today. A little something different than what we typically do, but I definitely want to highlight some things because I believe, especially with CT, Kirk, and Adrian, that y'all have something in common when it comes to your books. So I wanted to highlight this specific topic from CT Kirk's newest book. No, I have not read it. I'm sorry. And Adrian, I read your first book, not your second one yet. Charge it to my head and not my heart. But I want CT Kirk to give us a little synopsis of maybe what his book is about, journey, whatever, so we can connect the dots and then have the conversation about that specific book.
Okay, my third book is called Why Me? Boys Aren't Molested Too. And during COVID, I had a lot of time to reflect, and I had a lot of time to do some self-examination. And one of the common topics that I never talked about really in depth was what happened to me when I was 6 years old, and I was molested by a group of neighborhood boys. And I didn't realize at that time that a lot of things that transitioned after that point in my life was due to that certain point, but because it wasn't a topic that I saw a lot of people talk about, especially within the African-American culture when it came to men. That was something that I kind of tried to bury for so many years. And then as I got older, I started being able to really see how that day and that moment really impacted a lot of decision-making that I was making along life. And so it took me a while to write the book because I didn't know how raw, how real to get in it, how much of myself I wanted to expose. But just having conversations before it was even finished, I realized that a lot of African-American men have been molested and kept it bottled up out of shame, out of guilt, not want to get anybody in trouble, or just not feeling like there's a voice that you can, or ear that you can talk to about the subject. And so I know for women, there are a lot of groups, and this is a common issue amongst women, molestation, sexual assault, rape. And so a lot of women can come together and talk about those things, but when it comes to men, a lot of times we bottle things in, and we like to deal with surface level stuff. And so a lot of things that we deal with are surface level that we really never get to the trauma side of what happened to us and how these things affect not only us, but people that are connected to our lives. And so in writing that book, it was able for me to take the Band-Aid off and say, okay, you know what? I do have scars, and that there were other people that said those similar things happened to them as well. And for anybody really with trauma, when you look at trauma, you see how it affects the person that you are now.
Okay, that's pretty deep. Thank you for sharing that. Adrian, can you relate to his journey and how he came to writing his book?
Yeah, mine, of course, it was a little different because it was just simple. I really just wrote a paper about my life, which then I kind of came and stumbled back upon, from a paper from college. I stumbled back up on and read it, and I was like, I could really add to it. And what I basically used it for was therapy, to help me kind of cope with some of those things that happened, because like he said, one thing, when I was younger, I didn't really understand, what had happened or what I had went through until I was a little bit older. And it was like, oh, she made me do this, so she made me do that. And you know what I mean? Because at that time, I didn't know what sex was, right? I didn't know what that really was. And so it was like a few years later. And then also understanding how, as an adult, it had an effect on me. You know what I'm saying? So I really started to process that piece and kind of put it together.
Right. And I think it's really, like CT Kirk said, it's really hard for men to express these things or to talk about them. And having these resources available to people is major. At least they can pick it up and read it and maybe start unpacking some of that trauma and exploring some of that to try to figure out the current behaviors that they're displaying because they come out in so many different ways as adults that some people don't even recognize. I talk to people all the time in my consultations with training, and it's like they dance around things, and I'm like, something's deeper than that. You're padding yourself because you want to keep something away from you, and most of the time that's molestation, but they don't want to talk about it. So those things, that trauma is just so deep rooted, and once you figure out how to pluck that root, you just flourish in so many different ways in so many different areas. So I appreciate y'all for really being vulnerable and making sure that people hear these stories and know that they have resources to go to and they can connect with y'all that way. So I put your book information in the comments. So if anybody wants to purchase the book, check out his website. Everything is in the comments on Facebook and Instagram. I mean Instagram and YouTube. Y'all can check it out on there. He has 3 other books. I'm not sure if it's available on the links that you sent me, but if not, okay, everything's on the links that I put in there. So y'all can go crazy and show some support to the man. Y'all know. And I'll tell y'all the secret to show what we got going on. Me and CT Kirk, we got something coming up. So y'all stay tuned. But now I want to dive into the blurred over here. look.
I'm here.
Blurred. Listen,
Yes.
I'm all for the blurs. I love them. Adrian thinks that I don't know. Adrian be judging me sometimes. I think he thinks that I have this certain type, but I don't.
But what are you
You
into?
be hating on me, Adrian.
I ain't said nothing. I'm just looking over here, seeing what's going on.
So this being my first time meeting everyone here, like what is like your fandom? What are you into?
I'm into whatever y'all into. No, I'm joking.
Let's not do that now. Let's not do that now. We mix things over here. You know what I'm saying? Like the word blurred is a mix between black and nerd. So, we will do things.
Look, Adrian, you don't even know this, and I'm about to tell you something. Cause you be hating on me, yo. Look, look, I am like one of the top fans in this Comic-Con group. Okay. Because they all found me because of the body paint picture. So now I'm in there and I'm having fun. So
body paint picture.
I'm like, oh, I want to go. I want to go. Like, it's amazing.
What do I need to look up this body paint picture? Do I need to
Didi Legette on Instagram. You'll see
on Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
Yeah, you'll see it.
All right. Craig, keep talking. I'm listening.
So, well, yeah. So this was one of the things too why I definitely wanted to bring D on the show. Me and D, we talk about this, and one of the things that I feel like I had a rough time kind of growing up, really being able to enjoy the things that he's showing to kids. Coming from the hood, it was just like, nah, you can't do that. That's not respectable. Like, oh man, you watch Power Rangers? That's crazy. Oh, you like Spider-Man? Oh, that's crazy. So all of those things that as a kid you should be enjoying, that was something that I felt I couldn't do. And I look at my son, right? He's all into it. Like my son know the Spider-Man song. I didn't even know Spider-Man had a song. And he's singing the song. Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know nothing about that song. Right. And he's right. I'm like, what are you singing, dude? And it's like Spider-Man. So then him and his mom played it for me, and I'm like, I never knew Spider-Man had his own theme song. Where have I been? And so just looking at my son and seeing all of the things that he's able to to enjoy and really like, but also looking on the flip side, because I'm like, oh, he's probably gonna get picked on because this ain't cool for black kids to really be involved in and really like, right? But I want to make sure that I'm staying, there, his anchor to hit, like, no, like that, and somebody like, why you letting your son dress up? Cause he can, like, he's 4, you know what I'm saying? Like, leave my son alone. So, you know what I'm saying? Making sure that I stay there and I keep motivating him to be into the things that he's into, and Hey, if you like Spider-Man, cool. If you like the Hulk, cool. Whatever it is that you like, just being that support for him, whether he comes home and someone says something crazy to him, right? And so that was one of the main reasons why, because I told him I was proud of him for being that voice and really putting this out there, because I feel like this is something in our community that we really need. I know
See,
I was long-winded, but
and I don't know why I ain't think about this, but CT Kirk in his classroom, his social studies class, y'all, he's the GOAT. He dresses up for his kids. He be dancing in there. Like CT Kirk, his costumes are freaking legendary. Okay. Y'all have to follow him and see it. Like, if I had a social studies teacher like that, I might have crazy. Saying, like, y'all gotta see him. It is. I don't see, like you said, CT Kirk, I don't see how you haven't gone viral like these fight videos, because it's amazing what he does in the classroom.
Don't worry, I'm about to fight tomorrow.
Don't you hit them churn. You hit them churn. Demetrius, you over there looking real preoccupied, sir.
Well, I mean, because I'm looking everyone up. Like, I'm looking at Mr. Kirk. I see, what he's done for Black history. You know what I mean? Like, I see the costumes. I saw the body paint. Good job.
Thank you.
Core Queen. I see that now. Like, because I'm Adrian's like, yo, come on in. I want you to talk, to the people about some stuff or whatever. And I'm like, I'm not really sure about what I'm walking into, but I trust Adrian. You know what I mean? So like, I get on. I'm like, oh, look at that. I thought it was a bunch of guys. Like, because I know Adrian from bodybuilding. I used to compete with him, and so when I think of Adrian, first thing that comes to mind is like GC code, right? So I'm thinking it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like all boys club, hanging out. I turn on StreamYard, I'm like, oh, it's the ladies. Right. So we're showing cheeks. Oh, they about to get shut down. They just don't know it yet. Oh, there it is. But honestly, like my initiative is to empower Black nerds to do and be what they want to be, how they want to be it, and at any given time, without being derailed by people who don't look like us for being mad that they think that we're in their own specific space. And on top of that, there is a push to grow Black-owned comic book conventions. Not create more Black-owned comic book conventions, but actually grow the ones that we have going on. There are professionals that have been in the industry. When I say like industry, I'm talking about like Hollywood, or like authors, or just like speculative fiction, like creators. They have been in the business for years, and they are attending these conventions. They are a wealth of knowledge, and we have so many kids that have so many talents. Like we just talked about a child that got almost his life taken from him, when that he is so talented himself. But who is he around in order to help exploit or grow that talent? So when you think about Black-owned conventions, you don't really think of anything at all, because not that many people know about them. The amount of money funding that they have is limited to having most of them, be exhibited in like rec centers or in hotels, and not so much on the grander stages like you would see at San Diego Comic-Con or Awesome Con. That'd be at the Walter E. Convention Center in the middle of DC. A lot of conventions, unless you are a white-owned convention, can't exhibit in Philadelphia proper. They got to be on the outskirts of Philadelphia, because Fan Expo has the city on lock when it comes to their ability to exhibit in Philadelphia. And of course, they're white-owned. So my thing is, if we're able to grow Black-owned conventions, we do the community a service. We do a community a disservice by not looking at them, because a lot of people are like, oh, let's support Black-owned businesses. But then if you support a Black-owned comic book convention, you are actually supporting 50 to 60 Black-owned businesses, and then because they're all there, whether they are artists that are showing off their or selling their artwork, or whether they're they're trying to get people to buy their books, like I said, the authors or whatnot, or you have other vendors there that cater specifically to the Black nerds, where there be, or excuse me, just actually for nerds in general. So like I have a room full of action figures and props and toys and such, like like a vendor made this helmet, right? And it happened to be Black. So what if, I combine the services of people that I meet at the convention, someone who makes the helmet and then someone who paints the helmet. Therefore I'm supporting two Black owned businesses right there in order for me to have this to be a part of the cosplay that I am putting together. Um, Furthermore, when we're talking about the educational standpoint, Black owned conventions typically only have the funding to exhibit Saturday and Sunday, maybe just Saturday. What if we were able to have conventions that exhibit Friday, Saturday, Sunday? That means that they would have the ability to invite middle schools or high schools to these conventions and then have their art departments bring their kids and have them talk to the industry professionals one-on-one that are right there and give them tips on how they can do what they love to do and get paid for it. You know what I mean? It's we all, like you all were talking about the children, not having a certain level of respect. Like we have, there's a lot of truth to that, but then what's also true is that we were drilled with the mantra of having a practical job or a trade driven into our being in order to have something to fall back on, and never really the ability to dive into what made us creatively special. And so if we're sitting here like, man, all these white people on television, all these people on, all these white people in movies and such, and they're not really making anything that's Black, centric, or everything that they do make that's Black centric is watered down. The Blackest thing that we've had on television that was on a mainstream level was like what, Black Lightning, and that was whittled down to a bunch of quotes from MLK and Malcolm X, and then a Black man mad at the police for doing him dirty. Like that's not all of what Black stories are about. So with that being said, if we're able to tap into the youth now and let them know that their creativity is appreciated and we would like to like cultivate it and foster it, then you would see more Black students in film school. Therefore, you would see a lot more Black producers, a lot more Black directors, a lot more Black actors, and you would start to see more and more of what Hollywood is right now start to turn from so white to so brown. But there are different initiatives that I'm a part of that are promoting the idea of why do we even need Hollywood when we can just create our own platforms that would tap into the Black narrative, and we would specifically zero in on that niche, same way that Tyler Perry zeroed in on his niche of that specific demographic, and he became what he became because he zeroed in on what he know his on his audience, and he's able to make the move. So if we take the Tyler Perry method and make our own stuff and continue to fuel the Black dollar within the Black communities, and then within the communities that have the infrastructure to support the fostering of children, the fostering of our culture. Because when I was growing up in high school, I went to Fairmont Heights in Capitol Heights, Maryland, for a couple of years, and we had a club that was specifically made for Black people called Emoja, and they focused on the qualities of Kwanzaa and the qualities of what the Black culture should be, or how we could make ourselves better. It was close to being a little hotepish, but but they still had the best things about the culture being imparted upon us. So having conventions that have entities like that there in order to help build our own pride within our own culture means so much. You got Afro Comic Con in Oakland, California, that runs year long, and they do nothing but only thing they do, they focus on the Black arts, the creativity of teenagers in high schools, being able to foster, feature Black artists that are not even 17 years old yet. You know what I mean? Building that confidence for them to go forward. You know, then you got J1 Con in Atlantic City that cultivates the gamers, that wants people to get more into IT. You know, that wants the kids to know that their passion in video games can lead them to something more than just being told that they're riding their brains. Okay. Then you got Black Label Comic Con out of Philadelphia that has all of the industry professionals that have been around for 30, 40 years. But nobody knows their names because they're not white. Okay. And then you got Blurred Con out of Crystal City, Virginia, that cultivates the culture that is right now. Anime, video games, you know, cosplay, everything that's amazing about what makes us special. So I know I've been talking a lot, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone got an idea as to what I'm doing and how I'm doing it by basically doing the whole Stacey Abrams taught me how to grassroots build a project. You know what I mean? So if you go to blurredandpowerful.com, you will see what I'm starting. And then if you have any questions, you can always look at the Instagram of blurred.and.powerful.com. Or yeah, that's the Instagram. And then I'm everywhere else, whether it be at Hellspawn or Hellspawn_cosplay. Whew.
I'm gonna put your links in the chat so everybody can contact you. They should pop up in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. So
thank you, I appreciate that. It's a lot, you know. You, as far as like, you know, nerds having to deal with the racism and bigotry online, you know, it sucks. You know, it sucks. It comes from all directions, you know, and you know, sometimes these kids come to me and, you know, they just don't want to do it anymore. You know, because they're told that, you know, I mean, you can only be called a porch monkey so many times, you know, before you before you just start saying like, you know what, F it, I'm done. I don't want to be around these people anymore, or attacked by bots, or having your algorithm diminished because you can't get any traffic because you're a little bit too dark for the camera's algorithms. That's what happened with TikTok. You know, you'd be a light-skinned to fair-skinned person, you'll get more views than you would be if you were dark-skinned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yet your art is better than anything else that someone else might put out, but it just doesn't get seen.
Yeah.
So, you know, and the thing is, these nerds are introverts. They're not. There's a lot of them that are not mentally or emotionally prepared to be out here, but then yet, how else are they supposed to get their stuff seen? You know, they're putting themselves in emotional danger every single day.
That's
and
that's tough.
so
Yeah.
And that I think we talked about this, Adrian, before, about how like the Black community really praises like the jocks and the guys with the swag and all that stuff, and then like the nerds just get looked over. And it's like, but those are the ones who are creating all of the great things in the world that we use every day, and the swag ain't getting us nothing.
Not at
well,
all.
I mean, it depends on what your perspective is, because there's a lot of nerds that are getting things done and they're getting their attention, but then this is the first time that they've ever been seen, so a lot of them don't know how to act. You know what I mean? Like that whole, that hatred of people, of bullies and whatnot from high school carries over to the 20s and the 30s, and they become the bullies themselves. And as someone who has been in this stuff since I was 4 years old and still been on the football team, in ROTC, debate team, like I've done everything just because I was versatile. I didn't peak in high school. Like I'm peaking now. Like you know what I mean? Like but you know, I don't know. It just feels like this is like a continuous thing, and to see people who are just now getting attention for the first time act like straight like bitch niggas. I'm sorry. Like yeah, you know, it's really frustrating. It's like you're too old for this, my dude. Like
Daniel, y'all know I gotta mess with Daniel every week, right? Daniel. I'm not even fooling him today.
See, the thing is, like, yes, like, I'm 38 years old. I'll be 39 on Friday.
Hey.
Thank you. See, the thing is, I bought a lot of Dragon Ball Z VHS tapes off of eBay, right? Back in like 1999 for like $200. And I was selling dubs of those copies out of my locker for $30 a piece.
Oh.
So I was making well over $2,000 a week when I was in the 9th grade. And that was who was my demographic? Who was I selling people? Like there was a bunch of nerds, right? People with the mentality that women or dudes were who were into nerd stuff when they were in high school and didn't get no play. Y'all were just the whack ones. Like everyone else who was into it still did what they needed to do and got what they needed to get done. That's just the way it is.
Oh God.
You get women, you get money. I mean, that's what it was back in the day. You know what I mean? You can still do it.
We're gonna fight in a minute. I'm just saying, y'all. Me and Daniel gonna fight. Listen, Demetrius.
Yeah.
Now I was about to say something and it was gonna come out so wrong. So let me read. You said that you have a room full of like action figures and stuff like that you're sitting in right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is all stuff that I've like collected since I was like 4. I mean,
that reminds me of the movie Megan.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh my God, that movie is amazing.
Okay, so okay, so
oh my God.
Like to say, the Power Rangers was my thing as well. As far as like, and that's all the stuff from like Spawn that I did take out of the box, and then over there is like the more miscellaneous stuff like Ghostbusters or Xena. Well, yeah. So, what's happening? Okay, so yeah, like the room is there, and that's my son.
It's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, like this is everyone has their collections. This isn't even all of it. Let's say in that closet there is all the comic books that I don't display. Okay? Just like behind me, I have the comic books that are like somewhat important.
Jay Brady later, Megan was fire. For the IT geeks, it was fire.
Okay.
He is serious. Y'all see him? He is serious.
So like I mean, and then like I get like really black stuff here.
It wouldn't be our show if it wasn't.
And then, so also
did Adrian check the group?
Okay. So yeah, as of right now, actually this week, was it this week? No, it was last week. We released the first animated PSA based on my He-Man cosplay. That basically lets black people or black kids know that their black heroes do exist. And that's available on YouTube as well as a black-owned streaming service called Always Press Record Television, or APR TV, on Roku and Amazon Fire devices. You have to look for APR TV. You can't put in Always Press Record. That's the vanity market.
Demetrius, somebody said, what is the value of all those action figures?
I have not gotten it adjusted yet by USAA, so I do not know. I just know that my house better not catch on fire. I just know that much. But yeah, so the black-owned streaming services, APRT, there's a lot of them, but they're not all advertised. But black-owned streaming services is a thing. Yes, I know Danny. Actually, I was just talking to Danny on his last live Saturday morning, because Danny Quick is the author of a black-owned comic book called Ace Blade, and we're currently going through a civil war situation within the Black nerd community because misogyny and bullying happens within our own community as well. Currently, there is a bigger named entity that felt so threatened by the review of a Black woman that he decided to send his followers to report her page on TikTok to essentially get it taken down. And we all think that's bitch made. We all think that's not something that you should do. You cannot attack Black women. Don't do that. So I've become one of the tip of the spears against this company that has done this and made this Black woman feel unsafe. Because again, Black women are not they're not protected at all, especially by Black men. So we kind of have to change that narrative however we can.
Demetrius, you know what? I'm gonna be quiet till the after show because these folks in this comment.
Where's out here beefing?
They trying me right now. They know me too well.
Yeah, see, I'm not gonna say the company's name because I'm not trying to give them any kind of like notoriety because I kind of want them to fail, which is bad. It's bad. But at this present time, we can't have them be the face or the arbiters of our demographic or of our culture if they're going to be out here, talking bad about single mothers or talking, crap about the LGBT community or talking crap about, just basically being a bunch of hoteps that think that Black men should always be in control, and that's the base demographic that they appeal to. So I find if you look at my TikTok or if you look at my Instagram, I've made some videos about them. I've used the man's words against them several times, and I haven't said anything nice about them. And you got all this energy for a Black woman. What about me? Where you at for me? If you can attack Black women, why can't you retaliate against someone that is like you're in Delaware, my guy. I'm right here in Maryland. It don't take much but a hop, skip, and a jump. So do we have any brothers?
Don't entertain that comment, please. Please don't entertain that comment. Demetrius, we appreciate you. I am really trying to keep it together here. Like, why are y'all doing this to me today in these comments? Don't do me like this. Oh my God. Demetrius, I could listen to you talk all day. Obviously, because usually I'd be like, all right, stop. But I'm just like really intrigued by your knowledge, your conversation, and your passion for this. I used to tell people all the time that one of the most important things is to have a passion for something. Mm-hmm. And anytime you see somebody with a passion, or when I see it, I think it's just amazing and I love it. If my brother don't shut up in these comments, I swear I'm gonna kill him. But I do want to shift this conversation real fast. We have one topic that I want to discuss. And me and CT Kirk had a short little conversation about this the other day. And I thought it would be good for us to talk on a bigger platform to get some feedback for this conversation. I also brought it to my co-host as well, because I always like to let them know ahead of time what we're going to talk about. But so a lot of times in the Black community, we have this notion that you can't mix business with pleasure. Meaning, I guess, you can't be in a relationship with somebody and be in business with them because it's not going to work. My stance on that is that I feel like Black people are missing the mark when it comes to generational wealth, when they have that mindset, because white people do this all the time, call it nepotism, whatever you want to call it. That's how they continue to hand down generational wealth. I think the problem in the Black community is that when it comes to business and pleasure, there's always, well, I'm not going to say always, I'll take that back. There is a general sense that disrespect is supposed to be taken. And so you can't mix disrespect in business. That's never going to work. So if you're not going to be respectful, no matter what the relationship is, whether it's sexual, friendship, whatever it is, those two things will never mix. So I think that's where the disconnect comes with Black people. They don't know how to compartmentalize those types of things. I think there are things that you can overcome when it comes to relationships and business, but there are certain things that are just deal breakers when it comes to either or. So I just want to know from everybody in the comments on the panel, what is your take on business and pleasure being mixed in the Black community specifically in comparison to how white people do these things?
Go ahead, CT.
I'm gonna be back first. Gotcha. I think that a lot of times we as African Americans, first of all, we compare ourselves to our counterparts without really understanding how they flow behind the scenes. And so you often hear the comparison of a white athlete to a Black athlete without knowing the flow of how that white athlete approaches a certain topic. When we talk about the business versus the pleasure, first of all, we know that we as African Americans, we are more emotional than we are business savvy. So our emotions are going to drive us more so than the business mind frame, unless we've came up in that culture of a business mind frame. So, for instance, Donald Trump and his wife may own a business, and that business may be subject to nothing else. Hey, it's all business. You know, whether we marry, whether we fall out, it's going to be the business first because the business is more important than the relationship. And when you can separate the two on that certain level, then you're going to be successful. But if it's going to be, well, we're emotional, I'm involved, you know, forget the business, this is how I feel. If we break up, it's over, it's done with, and then the business suffers, then the generational wealth mark is going to suffer as well. And this is a lot of times what we see in the community when it even comes with baby mama, baby daddy drama, that everything was good when we was in a relationship, but now that we're not in a relationship, even the generational wealth, which becomes a child now, is not considered the valuable subject anymore as much as our emotions and how we feel about each other and the disrespect. And so that child suffers because the business mindset wasn't, okay, we got this child together, what's going to be better for this child? And I'm relating that child to a business. So even if we're not together, then what's going to be better for that business? How can we flow and still make our money, even though we're not in that relationship? And when you, and I think that's what we have to evaluate as a African-American culture is, and I say this a lot of times, how didn't Trump get to pay taxes? What did he do that I don't know? How can I find out what he didn't know? And until we have these conversations with some of these Caucasians as, okay, boom, how did you and your ex-wife be able to grow a business when y'all basically are married to two different people? You done moved on, but your business is still standing. And I think that those things have to be explored because until we pull the full emotion out of it, and I'm not saying be emotionless creatures, but if the business is what brought us together, then the business is going to be half the thing that we're going to stay cordial about, or else our business is not going to prosper. And in so many ways, I think that that's where we missed the mark at, because when you compare, you got to see how can you flow in business and be somewhat emotional when it's time to be and get your paper.
And I want to piggyback off that. I agree with you. When it comes to the emotions, you always have to keep those in check. That's a no-brainer when it comes to business. But I'll always stand on, I don't care, like even if it's me and a business partner, I'm never going to do business with somebody that I don't trust or I don't respect, and that doesn't respect me. So that has nothing, to me, that has nothing to do with emotions. So if I'm I think a lot of times with Black people, it may look like emotions when somebody's being disrespectful. So there's no way to conduct a business with somebody who has no respect for you. And also, you mentioned you said that white people. You mentioned Donald Trump and his wife, and then you mentioned baby mama, baby daddy for Black people. So we got to set the foundation for husband and wife. First of all, we got to get that together on the Black side, right? And finding that it's more valuable to be in a marriage when it comes to building a business, because that is a business. Being married is a business as well as having just a physical business, but having that respect and regard all in itself, like just being able to respect each other and marry one another outside of having children with one another. But that's a whole nother conversation. Right? But building generational wealth, the quickest way to get wealthy is to have a 2-income household. And if I am able to step away from a relationship, it didn't work, but still have and maintain these business ties and respect one another and keep getting this money, that should be easy. But the problem is that Black people don't even know how to break up. They don't know how to be respectful and mutual. They don't know how to just move on without it being some animosity. It's always just this anger and hate towards each other that destroys everything. Like you said, you gave the example with the like not even being able to raise a kid together just because we're not together. It's crazy how that's just doesn't even make sense to people. But it's just a lot of things that Black people have to figure out outside of just the emotional standpoint of it. But I just wanted to say, Adrian.
Hey man, it's a lot. It's a lot to unfold. It's a lot to unpack, especially when it comes to this topic, right? Um, one issue I think that we definitely have is just we don't really have a lot of blueprints. So I think with us not having a lot of blueprints, that kind of causes an issue for us to do it, right? But one thing that I do know is if you were taught that way, typically that's where you go. So if your parents own businesses, then typically you're going to own a business, right? And you're going to pass that on. Everybody that I know that own businesses, for the most part, their families, were entrepreneurs. Their parents were entrepreneurs. They became entrepreneurs as well too. Now, as far as the nepotism or being together, I think the issue with that is just I don't I don't think that we really look at it from the standpoint of two being a dynamic. So
Mm,
even if, say I had, the business and my wife is just supporting me in that fact, like, I mean, it's still hers because she's my wife, right? I think that we just don't see that dynamic or see that importance because it's not sexy. Someone feels like they need to do more, right? Or they need to be seen more. That's just like typically when friends come together, right? You have friends. It all starts off great, and then when money comes into the play, they forget where they came from, right? You know what I mean? Somebody has to bite the bullet. Everybody is not going to be the same. Somebody is the support, somebody is the you got Batman and Robin. Somebody's
mhm,
Batman, somebody's Robin. A lot of times we don't know how to play that part. If we're Robin, after a while we want Batman spot. And it's like, yo, and just using numbers, right? Batman could be making $500,000 a year. Robin could be making $300,000 a year on the same business, eating good. Robin, but yet Robin is jealous because everybody sees Batman and
mm,
everybody maybe respects Batman a little bit more. Batman's a little bit more famous, right? A little bit more noticed. Even though you eating good, you got a fat belly too.
mm,
But it's for the simple fact that you see that person eating a little bit more, and then guess what? People get in your ear. People
mm,
around you like, you deserve that too. You should have that too. Like, why they doing that? Why they getting that? And that
mm.
gets in your head to where now you like, nah, I'm good, and you mess up a good thing. And what I know Charlamagne says this, what a piece of something is better than 100% of nothing,
Come on now.
right?
Mm,
And sometimes we kind of look at that from that standpoint, and when it's late, when it's too late. That's why you see
mhm.
all these boy band groups come back together because you
Oh,
realize, oh, y'all ain't eating good by yourselves, right? As you thought, because everybody was telling y'all that y'all would. It's crazy.
yep. What you got, Demetrius?
I wasn't waiting for Drena because she actually unmute her mic. I was like, okay, she ready.
You over there tap dancing?
Yeah, I saw the chest moving. I was like, okay, you
What you
ready?
got, Dreen?
I was pretty much what Adrian said. I feel like whenever I think part of it is people get into a business and they don't know their role, what role to play, and everybody has strengths and weaknesses. And if you can identify that going into it, like maybe you're better being upfront, like being the face of something, and I'm somebody that I can delegate or I can, I know how to get whatever done needs to be done. But I think whenever the issue comes into place, whenever like a power dynamic, somebody feels like they're in control or they want to be, the other person wants to be in control. And I think that's when the emotion part comes into it. And then once we can't even hold a conversation, like we can't run this anymore. So that's what my take is.
Okay, so I think we need to change the word from nepotism, because we can see nepotism being something that white people do, right? They bring in their people, they work with each other, whatever. What we need to do is change it from nepotism to strategic partnership. If you look at the endeavor that you're about to embark upon as a strategic partnership with someone, then you can keep it compartmentalized as something that is a business venture that does not need to fail based on your emotions. Then you have to understand that not everyone's going to be wired the same way. You know, like, I don't know if everyone's, familiar with the Myers-Briggs personality test, but I'm an ESTJA. That is the executive. That is someone that thinks before he feels. Therefore, I get shit done, and I don't, like, basically, give me the baby, don't give me the labor pains. Like, that's the way that I work. You know, that does not jive well with a lot of people who are driven by their emotions. Therefore, a lot of relationships in my past have not worked because I don't understand. I'm not wired to understand why you feel when we're just supposed to be working on something to. No, Daniel, nepotism isn't a white thing, but at the
Daniel's
same time,
white, so he's offended right now.
That's why his character is dating fancy.
Hey, we weren't making Trump a hero either. So, while we're getting on Daniel, we weren't making Trump a hero either.
No. It's not a white thing, but if we use the Kenya Barris model of just saying because racism and because slavery, we as Black people have no opportunities to create a nepotism, a world that allows for nepotism to help us thrive, right? Because from our very, like, the whole idea of crabs in a barrel, that's us. Why? But then the question should be, like, crabs were never supposed to be in a barrel in the first place.
Who put them in there?
Right. You know what I mean? So with
Daniel?
all of us, with oh shit, with Black people feeling like the table is only but so big, because of what white folks have done to us, we end up tearing ourselves down. Like, why is it in our minds that there should only be one Negro of the moment? When we talk about Hollywood, you know what I mean? It was Eddie Murphy, now it's Kevin Hart, or not even Kevin Hart anymore. It's whomever, you know what I'm saying? But it's only one person, one Negro that can get all the attention at that particular moment in time. It's because we have it in our minds that multiple people can't be at the same table eating. Mm-hmm. Instead of the idea that maybe you just need to go cook in the kitchen a little bit longer before you can sit down with the rest of us and eat. You know what I mean? Because at the same time, you have people thinking that if we can't work together, or then that means that I need to work for myself and pull the ladder behind me. That's bullshit. None of us are made to complete this journey on our own. So the idea of being able to work with one another in a strategic way in order for all of us to prosper, has to be drilled into our heads as much as it's been drilled into our heads that light-skinned people fare better than dark-skinned people, or just as much as people who live on one side of the street should be better off more than the people on the other side of the street. It's changing the mentality as opposed to just accepting things for the way that they are.
Well said, Demetrius. Y'all gonna shut Daniel down. Hold on, Lord, what Daniel said? When my avatar.
Okay.
Y'all, Daniel is crazy. Oh my God, y'all. We had Daniel on the show.
I was looking at some percentages before we start talking, and 48 to 50% of marriages where there are dual entrepreneurs fail because of the not understanding, as my brother said, the strategic plan of we're trying to build this together. And so one person either dries up to be the boss and puts the other person down. The money gets to them, the fame gets to them, and then they begin to forget the strategic plan or the overall vision and goal. And whatever you do, you got to have a vision behind it. What is the end result of this going to look like? If it's just to be famous, then what is the objective after being famous? What are you going to do after that? Because it's harder to stay in a position once you get there than it is to get there. And so because those strategic plans are not there, a lot of times the marriage suffers because of the framework of the business.
Absolutely.
He's talking
I
about
agree.
motorcycles, Joy, not
I hope he's talking about
not
motorcycles.
his dick. That's not.
He said the D word on here. We're gonna get flagged again.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, think about it. Look at the question. You right. Look at her face. She did not
This is
know.
why I get on Daniel every week. You see,
She did not know.
This is what he does to the show every week. Every week. He
No,
derails.
you can say because someone's being a dick. You can say that.
No, I don't think you can.
Yes, you can because
You can say penis.
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about I was talking about that, but just talking about just now. I was saying that someone's being rude.
CT Kirk, thank you for that great response because I was not expecting that to happen just now.
Oh man.
So do you think that when you have two people in a relationship and they're trying to build a company together, I'm trying to bring this together. I really do have a good question though. They're trying to build a company. Well, I'm sure, like, so because you guys all mentioned like the dynamic and needing to know your role. So it would be the same basic concept of being in a relationship, right? So we know our roles in a relationship. We should probably know our roles in the business ship as well. So if we set boundaries and the descriptions up front to know what we're supposed to be doing, and then that gets derailed during the whole venture and the journey into the business, is that where things may go wrong? Because you would think, look, I'm your assistant. I got you. What you need me to file? What you need me to you need me to manage the website. You need me to do the taxes, be your accountant, whatever that is. Like I got all of that. What I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing outside of that. What would
I think people fail because they don't know how to communicate. And when I say they don't know how to communicate, they don't communicate effectively to the point where they are vulnerable enough to actually give you the reason as to why they are doing things or why they feel the way that they feel. You know, Kev on Stage has a book out with his wife, and they are detailing how their marriage had issues, you know, and one of the main things that they talk about is how they need to communicate better with one another, because he may say one thing and she immediately feels something that he didn't say, but because he did not go further into what his feelings were as to why he did what he did or said what he said, she's left creating her own narrative, and then things start to deteriorate. You know, when it comes to business dynamics, if you're talking about partnerships and whatnot, if there are clear guidelines as to what your role is, you know, I can't, because I will never equate a relationship to a business when we talk about roles, because you start talking about gender roles and none of that's all that's murky, you know, because if you're taking care of a household with a partner, don't matter what your gender is, just get the job done because it needs to be done in the house. You know what I mean? So when we talk about business relationships,
I'm sorry.
When you're talking about business relationships, you know, your role is clearly defined as to what your job is and how you're supposed to do it, when you're supposed to do it, and there should be no excuses. A lot of people want to find excuses as to why they can't do what they said they should be able to do.
Adrian, I need your response on that one because your face was toe up. Look, even everybody can see it. You can't hide it. Like your face was so. What was that?
I was just listening.
You wasn't just listening.
I was taking it all in.
Adrian Taylor.
Adrian,
you
funny.
Not get on this platform and act new when that man just said something about gender roles.
Oh, that's what y'all talking about? Oh, everybody know I'm all about the gender roles now on the side. So
Like,
I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, everybody know I definitely feel there's a role that a gender plays. I'm kind of old school like that though. So yeah, and that's just me. I feel like that is one thing that I kind of put away or put to the side. I feel like society tells us that we should be this way or that way when it comes to our house, but I feel like that's part of the issue, and why we have so many issues is because society is telling us to be this way and we're trying to figure it out. So as a man, I'm trying to figure out how to do these things that possibly my wife is better at, and vice versa. I don't play that game. I know what I'm good at. I know what I handle, and being the man, being the protector, being the provider is what I do. And I don't expect her to fall into that role no type of way. I'm gonna take that trash out. I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna make sure her car's straight, all of that, because that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. And I played that role where I've tried to quote unquote play to what society says I'm supposed to do, and that was the worst relationship I ever had in my life. I would never do that again.
But see,
I gotta.
that's the thing, my dude. Like, you don't. The more that you focus on what society
Mhm.
tells you, the more you're bringing the outside into your home, and you should just do what works for y'all. Like,
Right.
the more that you talk about what works for your household, then the more people are going to have opinions. And honestly, like, it's. I mean, it doesn't matter what you say. Someone's going to have something to say about what you said, and then it's going to end up being something that's going to have a back and forth for no reason because Debbie is happy, you're happy.
my girl.
That's all that matters. Like,
Yeah, I guess, and you're right. I mean, you're definitely right. I don't care. So that's part of it too. I don't care what people got to say
I ain't taking
because
out no damn trash. I don't care. I'm sorry, that's my brother. I am not taking out trash. Period.
No.
Point and blank. Not doing it. And I'm not cutting no grass. I'm just not doing it.
Hey, listen,
Well,
I done seen Miss Parker and some Daisy Dukes, push a lawnmower. I was like, yo.
it's easy
But I
to
see Miss
say.
Parker.
I act like
Miss
it for a
Parker was
photo
single.
shoot, but I'm not doing it.
But
Miss
I
Parker
got a
was single.
13-year-old son in here. He better cut that grass.
it's easy to say that we don't let society affect us, but in actuality, we do. The Caucasian man can have his nephew and make his nephew the supervisor and don't care what the workers say.
Mm-mm.
But black people, when we hire a friend, we're afraid of the people gonna say, "Oh, he just treating him that way because they friends," or he just doing that because it's his nephew.
And
so
it's usually
we
us
end up,
that are saying it.
yeah,
It's
and we
our
end up
own people.
we end up
Mhm.
flipping on our friends or family members because we allow that in our ear that, oh, I can't show him any favoritism, I can't give him any grace. But our counterparts ain't worrying about none of that. They just saying, you know what, my nephew at this time was qualified. I'm putting him in position, even though he wasn't qualified, and that's how it's gonna work. And so you really have to get to the point where it doesn't matter what someone else says, but training yourself is going to take time because you're so used to it.
So I personally went through those types of things, and that's why I say like I don't care. I can give you examples. I was that where it's like, here it is. There's this job. Yo, I'm finna put you in the game, and you gotta be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like holding people like you gotta be perfect. Don't make me look bad. Saying all of those types of things, but then I look at my counterparts, and it's like they put them in position, and they go about their business. They don't even care, because they like what you do ain't gonna be nothing on me. I might not be able to put somebody else in place at this, position, but it doesn't matter because if somebody, and I got to that point, so it's like if I put somebody on and it didn't work, and they'd be like, "Dang, Adrian, what happened to your boy?" I don't know. I guess
Because
it just didn't work out. I'm not gonna feel no kind of way, and you're not gonna make me feel no kind of way. And I
Mm-mm.
think that people have to start becoming to the.
no, because you're right, because black people are monolith. That's what they want us to believe, and we do it to ourselves. We really do. I'll give you an example in the nerd community. A black-owned convention that was hyped up several years ago was on its way to being one of the biggest, best things ever in the world, and then it failed the week of. People were flying in from the UK. Hotel rooms have been like, you know, blocked off and all this stuff, and no, in the convention itself did not let any of the new people, any of the convention goers know about it at all. It was the hotels that canceled everyone's rooms that let them know, and then that has been a black mark on the Black community since then. So, you know, we shouldn't be held responsible for what one set of Black folks did where they fucked or where they messed up, but we all are being held to that standard, you know. So I hear what you're saying. You know, it's white folks can set it and forget it, while we have to like maintain it, because we are our brother's keeper for no freaking reason.
Well, Daniel said if a white dude hires his kid for a job he's not qualified for, white people will be pissed too.
Yes, that's true. but you know what? You know what? They'll put it in a strongly worded email. They just won't say it out loud.
With all due respect. Look, great conversation, guys. And Drena. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen. This is the part of the podcast where we close out, but we also let you tell people what you have going on for the week. We appreciate y'all for coming on the podcast. We love having guest co-hosts, but we want you guys to tell people what you got coming up. If you want folks to follow you on social media, promote yourselves, let the folks know where they can follow you and all that goodness, gracious stuff. I'll start with you, CT Kirk. What you got going on?
All right. My book is available on all major book outlets, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Arthur House Publishing. Doing a lot to try to promote that and get that out. Got a couple of opportunities to speak on the topic. And so just really flowing around, pushing that book out, as well as my other book that came out, How the West Was Whitewashed.
Hey, let's go. Anything you got coming up? You want to promote, talk about, announce, invite people to, let people know about anything you got?
I'm just doing some community things coming up as far as on the pastoral side. So you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. I'm old school. Facebook, yes.
Hey, what you got, Demetrius?
I am, well, right now, we have a 30-second animated PSA to let Black children know that their Black heroes exist. If you look at Hero Core or, you know, Hellspawn Cosplay on YouTube or any of those socials that you saw before, it's there. June 16th, well, actually, no, you're talking about this week. This Saturday, I'm going to be at a wedding as a Mandalorian with this one. So that's something that just happens. That, you know, someone just asked me, like, hey, can you be there? You know, I'll pay you like $60 an hour. I'm like, okay.
You can promote whatever. It doesn't have to just be this.
You know. No, but June 16th to the 18th is Awesome Con in Washington, D.C. It is a large convention that houses about 120 to 140,000 people per day. They are out. My son and I will be hosting basically a superhero daddy daycare situation where we'll be teaching kids and their fathers how to pose for cameras and how to train them to like, my son will be 4 in August. So the fact that he's trained up now is proof that I've been working with him since he was 4 months old in order to take pictures. I'll be also hosting my 3rd annual Juneteenth cosplay photo shoot. This year it is the theme is the Lovecraft Jazz Age. So if you could think of Lovecraft country with, like, you know, the old gods of like Cthulhu or like sea monsters or whatnot, mixed with the Harlem Renaissance or like Smooth Criminal, you know, the 1930s, but Black, you know, it's sexy when you think about it. And then also I'll be hosting a panel during that convention as well. And right now I've got my fingers crossed about San Diego Comic-Con, about hosting another panel for Black-owned conventions out there. And I got a series of conventions I'll be appearing at throughout the summer with my son. Yeah, so like, and then there's other stuff, but I'll let you follow me on Instagram for those updates, because it's a lot. It's a lot that I'm doing.
Oh my God. These comments. Am I doing something that's making people? What am I doing? Y'all crazy.
So yeah, I live in the Baltimore area, Omar, and the next convention is June 16th. That's like the next biggest one. There's conventions happening throughout the year through several weekends, but I don't know all of them all the time because like there was just one in West Virginia, and I stay at some downtown, so
Demetrius, do not entertain Omar, okay?
yeah.
Please.
Okay.
Oh,
Don't entertain him.
He has been Grogu, Daniel.
Don't
Not Baby Yoda. We don't call him Baby Yoda anymore. We call him Grogu because that's his name. We're in season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Drena, what do you have?
I am working on tickets for the Kentucky Derby event that I'm hosting here on May the 6th in Gulfport. If you're watching and you're in Gulfport, you should come. Especially if you're a man and you're single, because women are always like in my inbox, like, is it gonna be any men now? I don't know. Bring somebody. Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
You in Kentucky? Is it when you say Kentucky Derby, you talking about like the legit one?
No, I'm sorry. It's a Kentucky Derby soiree. So we host. This is our second year hosting an event to shine light on the African Americans who played a vital role in the first like 13 years of the Kentucky Derby. I think the first 13 years, like of all the winners, they were black men until they were banned from being a part of it. So not a lot of people know about that. So we created it. Well, they have events in like bigger cities like Harlem, Detroit, all those areas, and we just put one together down here on the coast where I live.
Okay.
Adrian, what you got coming up?
Finally, my website should be finished. I know we've been going through this like the last couple of weeks, but I just submitted the final draft, so now it's just really making sure everything lines up, just checks and balances. But it is done. The layout is done. So I'm excited about that because all of my stuff will be on there. So, from the books, from the merch, from coaching, being able to book me, all of that stuff is going to be on the website. So extremely excited about that. Of course, we already know where we're going to be at this weekend. We're going to be in Atlanta. Um, and I'm excited for it. It's going to be a great thing. I'm ready to go to Atlanta. I'm ready to meet other podcasters and talk and network and meet. So yeah, that's what I got going on this week.
CT Kirk's computer died. He just sent me a message. So, y'all
Gotta
know
plug that in, my boy.
too much going on. But like Adrian said, we'll be at the Black Effect Podcast Festival on Saturday in Atlanta. So we're excited about that. You know what? Debbie is crazy. I can't with y'all. Y'all are.
Hi, Debbie.
So we're excited about that to learn some stuff from all the podcasters that'll be in attendance, and then we'll be enjoying the fight that night in Atlanta. I wish that CT Kirk was here because I wanted to tell y'all that I will be a guest speaker at his church on May 7th, speaking about physical fitness, mental fitness, and spiritual fitness. So I'll be doing that. Check out his church, his 14th anniversary for his church. So I'll be speaking there. And then on May 13th, I'll be the guest speaker at the Sneaker Ball in Philadelphia for my friend Juan and Lisa for their big event, speaking on entrepreneurship and my Core Queen Fitness business. And y'all, this week, my first episode should be dropping for my Grown and Sexy Meal Prep with the Core Queen. If you're not subscribed to my IG, not following, subscribe. You have to pay for it to get these episodes. Y'all are going to miss out if you're not subscribed. I'm telling y'all, it's crazy. My other special guest, has just confirmed that he will come and film. So we're working on the date that we're going to film. But we have 3 episodes already recorded with one special guest and myself. So we got some stuff already ready to drop. And it's about to be crazy. This is going to blow up to something that I don't think I really expected. Because I have people who are asking to be on it with me. And it's about to be bananas. So y'all get ready.
Is it Trick Daddy?
No. Well, everybody is asking me, like, you gonna have Trick Daddy on the show?
Is it
Hey
Trick
man,
Daddy?
the show with you and Trick Daddy was funny. So
It was.
Yeah.
yes.
And I would love to have Trick Daddy on my cooking show once I get my studio built out.
You won't let him come through? Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Lots of inside jokes here.
So I was on Trick Daddy's cooking show. Trick, I Got My Pots. It's on YouTube. If you check it out, I was on one of his episodes with 112. It was a great time. Trick Daddy's awesome. He's funny. He's very smart, actually. Very smart. Yeah. But yeah. Once I get my studio built out, I'll be more comfortable with having people come and do the show. But right now, I'm shooting it out of my kitchen in my house. Yeah, I gotta be safety first, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the first episode will be dropped this week, and it will be with DJ Puff from Queen's Court, featuring Tamar Braxton, Evelyn Lozado, and Nivea. If you haven't watched Queen's Court, it's on Peacock. It's streaming right now. It's actually a great dating show. So DJ Puff is my first guest host on my meal prep show. I'm excited about it. It was a great episode. We had so much fun filming it. So y'all check it out. If you're not subscribed to the IG channel, it's Didi Legette on IG. You can Google the Core Queen. I'll pop up everywhere. You'll see me. Check it out. And I think that, and I got a photo shoot coming up next month, y'all, for Sheen Magazine. So be on the lookout for those pictures. I'm excited to do that. And I have my theme for my next birthday shoot. I'm scared, but I'm going to do it. Like last year, I was scared. I'm going to do it. I'm praying about this thing here. But yeah, I'm excited about it. And I might have a new artist. I prayed about it, y'all. I think I'm going to do it.
We can't supersede what you prayed about.
I think I'm going to do it. They keep harassing me about it, so I think I'm going to do it. So y'all be on the lookout. Be on standby. Y'all know we appreciate everybody in the comments. Y'all let us know. What did she say? Girl, boy, I ain't gonna be in front of no damn alligator. It's worse than that shit. Oh, Jesus. I'll tell y'all about it on the after show. Demetrius, you make sure you stay when we get off this live on this after show, because I got some stuff to talk to you about. So don't you go off. Y'all, we appreciate y'all. Y'all showed out tonight. Y'all showed some love tonight, even though we got kicked off. We had a violation and all that. We appreciate y'all. If you would like to donate to the Breaking Barriers podcast, please send. You see our cash that's scrolling across the bottom. Send some love. If you know anybody that wants to sponsor this show, let us know. We got a big announcement next week, so stay tuned. Ooh, y'all gonna like it. Y'all gonna like it. And also, if you want to be a guest co-host on the show, DM us. Let us know if you want to come on. If you got something to talk about, don't come on here and talk about nothing crazy. What? See, my brother just don't know how to get out the comments. And we will see y'all next week. Be out of here. Because he don't.
Depends on where your sister relies.